If you're using Salesmsg to send SMS text, either for marketing purposes or sales purposes, and you're leveraging the HubSpot platform, there's some functionality that people often look for and expect to be there out of the box that doesn't exist, but can be pretty easily replicated using either workflows or using a third-party automation tool called Zapier. And that's what we're going to explore here today. I've actually set up a very simple version of this in Zapier, where when a contact gets added to a list, that's what's going to kick off this zap. We're going to wait until 30 minutes before the meeting, and we're going to send a text. The reason that I'm doing this here in Zapier is because HubSpot, using HubSpot workflows, we would only have the ability to send a text message a day before, because their workflows are date-based and not time-based. So at the best, we can trigger a workflow in HubSpot to say the day before a meeting, send a text message, hey, just confirming we're still on for tomorrow, which is fine. If you wanted to get as close to delivering it 30 minutes before, that's when we're going to have to use a platform here like Zapier. And let's take a look at how this is achieved. So the enrollment criteria is a new contact is in a list. And the list that we're using back here in HubSpot is date of last meeting booked, which is a value that by default will get set on contacts. Date of last meeting booked is less than a day. So it waits till a day before the next meeting that's scheduled to add them to the list, which then enrolls them here in this Zap. So we're grabbing them off of that list. We're delaying until, you can see that the time we're delaying until is date of last meeting booked minus 30 minutes. And when that happens, we can simply come in here and we're going to send a text message with Salesmsg, from a shared inbox using the mobile number. I also want to point out at this point, if you are using the free sales tools on HubSpot, you likely are not able to ask for mobile number. So keep that in mind. You can't send a text message. You can't, you're not going to be able to ask for custom values like a phone number unless you're using the paid sales tools, which you can work around. You can always add in mobile number manually if you're capturing it. But as soon as we hit this step, we're going to then send that text message, and we have achieved what we're looking for. Now, the problem with doing it this way is it's possible that this contact actually canceled. And what's going to happen in HubSpot, if we look at this value, date of last meeting booked, if a contact has that outcome of canceled, or if they let us know they want to reschedule, we can update this activity to rescheduled. But what's going to happen is this value is still going to be known. So that contact is still going to receive a text message. If we're concerned about the integrity of our text messages, not sending out messages to people that we're not actually going to be meeting with, then we can build in a provision that we can check for. So this is a value, date of last meeting booked in the meetings tool. This is a value that's here by default. What doesn't exist on a contact record is this meeting status value. This is a custom contact property that has the same options as a meeting outcome. And the reason that we have to do this is because when we're using Zapier, we don't have the ability to look up what is the outcome of an associated activity that is this meeting. You can only look for values that are on the contact record. So by setting up this custom contact property, meeting status, and then having a couple workflows here, we can use an enrollment criteria for this meeting that says if a meeting, this is a contact-based workflow, if a meeting, so an activity, has an outcome set to scheduled, then set the contact property meeting status to scheduled. And we can do that for all of the different statuses. The reason why we're not just saying if the meeting outcome is known and then have a bunch of if-then branches is because these associated activities actually are not eligible for re-enrollment. So once a meeting's booked, it'll be known as scheduled. It'll go down this workflow. And then if that changes to rescheduled or canceled, because contacts can't be re-enrolled in this workflow based on this updating twice, we're better off building out these workflows separately. Now, once these run, because this list isn't adding contacts until the day before the meeting, this is going to give us the most accurate, when someone gets now enrolled in this workflow, this is going to give us the most accurate data. And this that we're looking at is the simple version here. If this satisfies what you need, if you're not worried about the integrity of your text messages that are going out, you're done. This is going to put you where you need to be. If you want to build in a check to say, let me see if the contact has canceled, then let's take a look at this other version that I've built out here. So same enrollment criteria. The contact has been added to that list a day before. And the reason that we do this only a day before and not say, or why not just make the starting criteria when they've booked a meeting? The reason is that meeting might be 2 or 3 weeks away, and rather than having a bunch of contacts that are sitting in limbo in this delay until stage, let's just not even enroll them until a day before the meeting. So now, when we delay until 30 minutes before that meeting, what we're going to do is get a contact. So go back and find that same contact that's enrolled in this just to get the most up-to-date information at that time, 30 minutes before the meeting. And the values that we're going to get here are meeting status. So we're checking just to make sure, is meeting status still scheduled? And the reason that we're checking for that is because we know that the date of last meeting booked is going to be set regardless of if it was canceled or rescheduled or whatever it might be. And while we're at it, we're just going to grab the phone number again. Instead of just, assuming that whenever they first enrolled here, the phone number was accurate, we're just going to grab that information one more time. Now we set in a filter that says only continue if meeting status, so conversion information, meeting status, contains scheduled. If it doesn't, if it's rescheduled, if it's canceled, then we're not going to continue. Then just for good measure, we also look at date of last meeting booked with the meetings tool. Is it after right now? This is the value that HubSpot or that Zapier uses for right now. And is that date of last meeting booked before 40 minutes from right now? So if the time falls in between these two things and the status is still scheduled, then we'll continue on and actually send that text message. So you can see how this is going to improve the consistency with sending only to people that should be getting together with us in 30 minutes. So I hope that answers your question, that this satisfies what you're looking to achieve. I know it's something that we've heard from a lot of different sales message users and a lot of different HubSpot users. So we're happy to have resolved this. If you want to learn more about this is exactly the kind of stuff that we at Mori Creative Studios do for our clients, helping them with, using HubSpot, using platforms like Salesmsg for their business operating system. We'd be happy to talk you through this in person. Feel free to reach out to us at moricreative.com. And I want to thank you for joining us. All right. Bye now.